We need risk takers. And that's not something that Hawaii is generally comfortable with. But we, as entrepreneurs, as the next generation, we need to have more people taking more risk here in this space. Investors. You heard it in the previous movie, bonds, whether it's direct investment or whatever the case is. We need investors. We need people to believe in the technologies and believe in the green energy future and write checks in that space. We need visionaries. This is an image of a city called Masdar in the Middle East. The Middle East, which, you know, produces a lot of oil, they don't want to use any of their oil. They want to use the sun to produce all the electricity they need and take that oil and sell it to us, because they sell it to us at a tremendous premium. That is no joke. I've been here. Sopogy is selling technologies into Masdar City right now. It doesn't look like this. This is a graphical enhancement. But what you can see here is the vision of what they're trying to accomplish. It's going to be the very first zero net energy city. So basically, they're not going to have any carbon coming out of this city. They're going to use renewable energy, wind, concentrating solar power, and photovoltaic on the roofs to produce all the power for the city. Big thinking, big projects, really kind of just very visionary. And we need leadership and change. And I cannot think of any better icon for that than Barack Obama. Change can happen. He was the underdog, yet was able to rise up against all odds. The same thing needs to happen here in our area. We need to have people that are not afraid to buck the trend. And we need to have people that are not afraid to be called crazy or, you know, nuts. I can tell you from a personal story, even just recently. In 2002, when I started Sopogy, I had the idea for a solar collector that could use mirrors, which would intensify the energy of the sun and have higher efficiencies. I went to one of the leading experts in town and I presented my idea. And what I was told was that you're nuts, this will never work, Hawaii company can't do this. And I said, okay, and we did it. And went back to him a couple of years later, and he said, yeah, I always thought you could do it. It makes a lot of sense. It's a no-brainer. I'm surprised someone didn't do it before you. I recently went back to the same individual who's in the same job and presented a new concept that Sopogy is working on. And the response I got was, you're nuts, it can't be done. And so it almost leads me to believe that maybe, you know, maybe, just maybe this person is not right. And that's where the new school of thought, I think, really needs to come in. You have to be tenacious. You need to be willing to be a leader. Being a leader doesn't always mean that you're going to have friends around you. Sometimes it means standing out there all by yourself and having people naysay you all the way through. But again, in that is really what I call the opportunity. So we've got some real problems, but I think the real opportunity is here, and it's before us now, and it's ours to go and capture. So the decision is yours. The not my problem to, you know, the we solution. I think that's the point that we're all at right now. That's the point, certainly, I believe, that we're at right now. So I've got some very, very quick slides. I'll put this on the internet, but I wanted to provide some quick tips relative to some of the conservation tips that were provided in the movie, but also make them relevant to Hawaii. Because again, some of that stuff dealt with energy prices, which are like at 4 cents, and here we're looking at energy prices that could be, you know, at 21 or more. So a couple quick things relative to your ride, your ride. A hybrid here will pay you back in about 5 years. Very good investment, not only on the energy cost saving standpoint, but also on the emissions, which is not factored in here. Tires and filters in your car could save you up to $150 a year if properly maintained. Now, a lot of these things come with caveats, so I'm just going to give you the general rules, and you know, you can kind of figure out what kind of driver you are, what kind of vehicle you have, how old it is from there. Eliminating the extra weight in your car could save you $50 a year. And it's surprising, when I started to do this presentation about 5 years ago, I was doing a lot of Department of Energy work in places like Palau and CNMI, Saipan, and Samoa. And these are areas where people drive very big trucks. And in the back of their trucks, they had big things like tires, sometimes rocks, believe it or not. And they would drive around with that stuff all the time. But what they didn't realize was that it actually costed them more in fuel because of the additional weight. What I was told was that they took some of that stuff out and actually saw some true savings from that. Aerodynamic drag, luggage racks and whatnot also affects the mileage on your vehicle. So if it doesn't have to be up there, take it down. Your car was designed for a particular aerodynamic shape, not necessarily encompassing that luggage rack. Your home. What I wanted to mention here was just a couple quick things. This is a typical home, and the circles represent the big areas of energy. These are the areas where I suggest you remember, because these are really the areas where you're going to have the biggest rate of return. Lighting and water heating, air conditioning, and your refrigerator. Just remember that, because you go after those things, you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. That's the low-hanging fruit. Close the refrigerator, run your air conditioning cooler, shut your lights off, roll back your water heater, install solar water heating. That's where you're going to get your biggest savings. Start cooling, obviously, by reducing your thermostat. If you've got air conditioning, can save about $100 a year. In hot water, if you reduce your consumption of hot water, rolling that back to cold water, potentially save about $120 a year. And lighting, I don't think I have to even say anything about lighting at this point, because I think we're all very aware of compact fluorescents. But this is one of my favorite images with regards to what's known as a torchère. On your left, you have a compact fluorescent torchère. On the right, you have a halogen torchère. Heat is energy. That's a 500 watt halogen torchère. This is a 90 watt compact fluorescent torchère. You can see how much, same amount of light, but you can see how much energy is being wasted in the form of heat here. That's an infrared picture. So I want to summarize by capturing some checkpoints of how you can help today. And obviously, consider things that I've put out there as well. Become entrepreneurs, learn green jobs, go into the space. But be aware. I think one of the things that we lack is basically being aware, coming out to events like this. Because we get to a point, myself included, where we believe we know everything. Again, I speak mostly for myself. But coming out to these events, seeing movies like that, really helps you to become, I think, more aware. That helps it flow down. Obviously, in your own home, in your own lifestyle, in your work, implement the basic energy efficiency measures. Energy efficiency, as you saw in the movie, was checkpoint number 1. But then, this is something that I really want you to take to heart. Become a messenger of change and start with your friends. Because it's not easy to go out there and get on a soapbox and start to evangelize for anything. But this is a worthy cause. What we're doing here is very important for our generation and generations going forward. Becoming a messenger of change is critical. We all need to be messengers of change and use the tools available to us. I'm always on Twitter, which is a social networking tool, trying to remind people of things that they can do. Make your voice heard to government. Even in our own companies, we have the hesitancy at times to want to step up and talk to our legislators and share with them our perspective, because it may not be mainstream. But it's so important, because you heard it in the movie as well. They can dictate things that make it easier for us to adopt change, adopt the green way of life. The government officials need to hear this because they don't always know. Sopogy hosted a reception recently where we brought out 40 legislators. And for the first time, a lot of these people that sit and make our laws were able to see technology, were able to see solar, were able to see the faces behind that, and really got a better understanding of what our company is trying to accomplish. Up until that point, it was all paperwork to them. And finally, join the green technology revolution in some shape, way, or form. Become a technologist. Invent something. Do something good. Share your message. Get trained in green energy. So with 20 minutes, I want to thank you for listening to me today. And I think the message is together we can implement change. So let's do it. That's what I'm trying to do. Certainly, I think as we all engage here, I think we can make Hawaii a better place. And I'm happy to talk about that, but I want to go over to questions as well. So, cut over.